This is the IUX Education Podcast, your shortcut to smarter trading and investing.
Where complex markets become simple. Let's dive in.
Welcome everyone to the Deep Dive. Really glad you could join us. So if you're new here, what we do at the Deep Dive part of the IUX Podcast from the IUX Education team is pretty straightforward. We wade through tons of info, articles, research, you name it, and we pull out the absolute key insights to the stuff you really need to know so you get informed fast, maybe even find a few surprising things along the way. Today we're tackling something pretty much everyone in the markets faces eventually. What your first losing trade teaches you. Now, I know just hearing losing trade, it doesn't sound great, does it? Might bring up some, feelings. But honestly, this isn't about failure, not at all. Think of it more like an essential first step, a really valuable learning curve that, believe me, every single trader goes through.
Oh, absolutely. And really getting your head around that first loss, processing it the right way, it's so much more than just, the money. It's fundamental. It shapes your whole mindset, your trading psychology, and helps you build those habits, the practical stuff that you just cannot succeed long-term without. It goes deep.
Right. So that's our mission for this deep dive. Let's unpack those crucial lessons, the ones often learned the hard way, from that first loss. We want to help you turn what feels like a setback into a solid foundation for resilience, for making smarter choices down the line. It's like your first market lesson fee. Okay, let's get into it then. You know that feeling, right? Maybe you had a couple of early wins. Beginner's luck, perhaps. It's so easy to think, wow, I've cracked it now, like a trading genius.
Oh, yeah. The invincibility complex.
Exactly. And the bam, your first real loss hits. Unexpected, sharp. And it teaches you something really, really fundamental about the market itself. Which brings us straight to lesson one. The market is impersonal, and you are not invincible.
That's it. Spot on. Before that happens, lots of new traders kind of operate with this illusion of control. You think your analysis, your hard work is what's moving things. But that first loss, it delivers this really necessary dose of humility. It's the market basically saying, look, I don't know you. I don't care about your charts, your hopes, your bills. It's not personal. It's just millions of people, algorithms, news. It's this huge collective force, an indifferent ocean, really.
Okay, so for you, the person sitting there watching the screen, what did that mean? It feels personal, right? That'd sting. But understanding it's not. It's just a statistical outcome in a giant system. That's kind of freeing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How does knowing that help detach your ego? Because that seems huge.
It is huge. It's probably the absolute first step to developing real trading psychology. When you truly get that the market isn't against you personally, that a loss isn't some cosmic judgment on your abilities.
Right.
Well, it lifts a massive weight. You start seeing losses differently, not as defeat, but as data, just information. And that lets you analyze what happened objectively, without the anger or the shame clouding things. You shift from why me to, okay, what happened here? What's the lesson? That shift is everything.
Right, that makes sense. And here's where it gets, really interesting, maybe even a bit painful. Because once that initial shock wears off and you start detaching the ego a bit, you slam into this cold, hard fact, which is lesson 2. Risk is real. And why you absolutely need a plan.
Oh, definitely. Think about it trading on a demo account, using fake money. A loss there is, annoying, maybe. But it's just a number, no real sting.
Right, doesn't hit the wallet.
Exactly. But your first real loss, with your actual money on the line, that's different. That's painful proof that risk isn't some abstract idea from a textbook. It's very, very real. That feeling, that experience, teaches you more about risk management than any course ever could. It just hammers home why protecting your capital is non-negotiable. Job number 1, really.
And it forces those tough questions, doesn't it? The ones that maybe seemed theoretical before. Like, did I actually have a stop loss set before I jump in? Or was I just hoping, and if I had one, did I stick to it? Or did I nudge it down, hoping it would turn around?
Hope trade, yeah.
And the big one. Did I bet too much on this single trade? Did I think it was a sure thing? Those are gut-wrenching questions after a loss.
They really are. And that's where the plan comes in. That loss screams at you that a solid trading plan, which has to include how much you're risking per trade, your position size, and that predefined stop loss, your exit point if you're wrong that plan, isn't just nice to have, it's your lifeline. It's what keeps a small loss small. Your start loss is like a pre-commitment you make to your future self before the emotions kick in. It protects your capital so you can trade another day. Position sizing makes sure no single trade blows up your account. It's basic survival. That's why, at IUX Education, we're always saying, practice with a plan. Even on demo. Build that discipline muscle.
Okay, so you've got the plan, you understand risk, but then there's the immediate aftermath, the emotional roller coaster, right? You've just taken a hit, you feel that pain, and your gut reaction might be, well, to jump right back in and win it back, which leads perfectly to lesson 3, the danger of revenge trading.
Oh, the classic trap, so easy to fall into and so destructive. Revenge trading is that raw emotional reaction, that burning desire to get it back right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you trade bigger, maybe you take a setup that isn't really there. Just pure impulse. And I can tell you it's probably the single fastest way to wipe out a trading account. You're just reacting, not thinking. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline.
Yeah, and that first loss, it's your first real test against that exact feeling, isn't it? That feeling of being wronged, like the market owes you.
Yeah.
But like we said, the market doesn't owe anyone anything. It doesn't care you're down.
Not one bit. Acting on that anger or frustration, it just leads to more mistakes, more losses. You're just digging yourself deeper into that hole. So the real lesson here, maybe the biggest one, is discipline. Pure and simple. The ability to actually step away, take a breath, accept the loss. Okay, it happened, it's data. And then critically analyze it calmly. What went right? What went wrong? What does my plan say? And then this is key, wait patiently, for the next valid setup according to your strategy. Let the plan guide you, not the heat of the moment. That's how you build resilience. That's mastery.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Facing the market's indifference, really feeling the reality of risk, battling those inner demons like revenge trading sounds like a real trial by fire. But there's actually a really powerful, even empowering way to frame this whole experience.
Yeah.
A shift in perspective.
There absolutely is, and it's something we really try to emphasize. Think of that first losing trade, not just as, losing money. Think of it as your first tuition fee paid to the market. Seriously.
A tuition fee, I like that.
Oh, yeah. It's the price you pay for an incredibly valuable education, an education you just can't get from reading a book or watching a video. You're not just losing, you're buying essential, hard-won knowledge, experience forged in the real world.
So what does this tuition buy you exactly? Well, like we've discussed, it buys you humility, realizing you're not bigger than the market. It buys you a tangible understanding of risk, forcing you to prioritize protecting your capital. And it buys you that painful but crucial lesson in emotional discipline. Resisting those impulses. These aren't just ideas. You feel them. You learn them deep down.
That's the heart of it. Look, every single successful trader out there, they have stacks of losing trades behind them, loads of them, avoiding losses completely. Impossible. It's part of the game. What separates the ones who make it long-term from those who burn out? They learn from every loss, especially that very first one. They turn that pain into progress, into refining their approach.
So, yeah, when that first loss happens, and it will try to embrace it, see it as feedback, not failure, analyze it, learn from it, tweak your plan, and then move forward. Smarter, tougher, more resilient. That's the journey, continuous learning. And that, everyone, wraps up this deep dive. We've seen how that first losing trade, far from being just a negative, is actually a powerful, essential lesson.
Yeah.
Your foundation builder, your first tuition payment for a priceless market education.
Right. And maybe this leaves you with a question to chew on. If every loss really is a potential lesson, how consciously, how deliberately are you setting up your next trade? Are you making sure you're paying tuition for real insight or just paying for pain?
Ooh, that's a good one to ponder. A great thought to end on. Thank you all so much for joining us for this deep dive. Hey, if you want to learn more, follow up, whatever, you can find tons of great resources, articles, learning materials, more podcasts like this one, all designed for traders like you, right over at IUX Education. Hope to catch you on the next one. Goodbye for now.
And this is the IUX Education Podcast, where trading confidence begins.
That's a wrap for today. This episode was brought to you by IUX Trading Platform, your trusted partner for smarter investing.